You look for a good dentist who can solve your dental problem for you. If you are not well, you go to a hospital and look for a doctor. Now, these experts that you go to, they've been trained in their field to cause the right change. And we in Africa have diagnosed our problem eventually as one of leadership. And until and unless we get a good leader, our narrative will not change. But we're not training the kind of leaders with the right values who can change it. That's why I've devoted the rest of my life to training young people in the kind of leadership, making them leaders who have values, like leaders who have respect for people, who care for others, who care about time, who care about systems, who are God-fearing and genuinely love people. These are the kind of people who can change the narrative for everybody. Unless this happens, salary workers, you must find ways and means of survival. And the same Ghanaians and magicians. Now, the topic now and everywhere, you don't even have to come here. Come and know what you have to do. Chat GPT or chat AI, and they can tell you what you have to do. But of course, it's alien. So what I've decided to do this is to share my personal experiences with you. And let me learn the special lessons that I've gone through. And I'm not young. Since I'm young, it inspired me and taken with this guy. And I'm 73 years old. But that doesn't mean I haven't got power to ask for. I beg you. Anyway. So one of the things that I've done, which will also educate you on this topic, that I've written 3 books. They're called the UT story. They got the volume 1. The UT story, humble beginnings, that's when I started UT. Then volume 2, creating a winning team, which talks about building other companies and other income streams. And then volume 3 is about UT Bank, how we came to own a bank and become a bank. So we've got some of the books outside, for those who want to read more. Yes, but I'll give you a brief sense of the creating other income streams. Now, to generate other income streams, you must have the money to invest. Because salary is not good, so how do you take it, the money to invest? It really is a non-starter mostly. But there are a lot of things that you can do, like hobbies and small businesses, building family members and kids and things like that to generate those incomes. You know, a lot of people want to start business in a big way. And I always have a problem with that. Because, you know, when I started, you need trust. In one room, I've come to one room, with one table, 3 people, no toilet, no kitchens. I was 45 years and I was broke. And my wife had even left me with the kids. So I was completely shabby. I was able to make it. So don't worry, for these young people, all I'm saying is that don't ever give up and don't worry. Keep working hard, keep building the capacity, educate yourself, try things. If you fail, try again, and learn lessons, and move on, and keep it, and try again. You will make it. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about myself before I talk about the income streams. So, my book 1 starts almost from when I entered the armed forces. And that was a great training for me. But in the armed forces, you are trained to live the life of frugality. You don't need material things. Well, you don't know when you're going to die, so why should you have material things? That was the armed forces of those years. So, for example, what I had by way of civilian material things was 1 battery. Because everything I had was military uniform, military shoes, military that. And then I had 1 battery, just in case I have to go to town and have to disguise myself as a civilian. So as I stand here, I'm still like that. I haven't changed much. And I never changed, supposedly. So, lesson number 1, stay humble and be stingy, for lack of a better word. Don't waste money. If you want to actually preserve your money and have a better income stream. I mean, so the other thing is, be humble too. Be very humble. Now, when I talk about humility, people don't understand. In Ghana, we have a population of about 33, 35 million. Well, 1 out of that 33 or 35 million, 1 over 35 million is 0. For those who know a little bit of maths. So in effect, you are nothing. So who are you competing with? What do you want to do? You are nothing. And I'm giving these points because without these forming the basics of your values, you cannot generate the income to God. That's why you can't say this person about this weekend, this much will be daily. And those monies you have to actually keep and invest, and you should not be in competition with anybody. You will not be in competition with anybody. Go at your own pace. And wait for your time. Your time will certainly come. If you go about life honestly, be a very honest person. And also have respect for everybody. Leave people to go by yourself. Help them to even go at your own direction. Don't worry about it. Your time will come. And finally, be God-fearing. The Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. All I'm saying is that respect everybody. Everybody is a creation of God. Therefore, you are not better than the next person. You're probably favored for whatever reason, but you are not better. If you have these values, you can go on to see how we can generate the other income streams. Now, back to my own story. So, I left the army, not on my own terms, but I felt I didn't fit. And I won't go into details here. And I stepped out, and this I always tell. I decided to go to UK where I've gone to school for about 1.5 years to find a job because I couldn't fit with that community. When I got there, I went to my classmates, one that I was learning with, and he was a small accountant in London. And I said, Charlie, I have to run for my country, so you have to help me get a job. I said, okay, I'll try. Finally, long story short, he got me a job as a bookkeeper of some sort. And I said, Derek, but he's a white guy. I said, Derek, are you an accountant? Why come here? I have to go high calculation. And he said, well, you should shut up. Your papers are not good and you're a black man as well, so that's all I can get for you. So I said, okay, fine, you done well. And I kept that. I said, I'm going to Ghana, I'll be back. I knew I was going to go back. And I went to Nigeria. Those days, all graduates were going to Nigeria to get a job. I went to Nigeria. See if I could survive. It was okay because the graduates there were having good salary. In the evening, they would gather around, drink Guinness, and then live soup and goat head. It was special. Goat head, you come and there's a full celebration. And I was asking myself, so my life is just about goat head and live soup. So I came back to Ghana. Then I was looking around and seeing people with the city friends and nice family and everything. I said, me, army officer, degree school administration, chartered accountant, I can't survive. And these people are surviving. God, I won't go anywhere unless you kill me. I will stay in Ghana. And one thing that dawned on me was that for the youth, I always say that God put us here to make this world a better place. And he put you of all the big places on earth in Ghana. It means this is where you are supposed to go to change. So don't run away and not come back. You may run away and beg and go and learn and advance yourself and advance and experience, but always please come back. But this is where God has your problems for you to solve. If you go and you don't come back, you are disappointed your God. But I have to think of what to do with you because you left the place where you have a problem to solve or where you have a problem to solve. That's not it. So back to my story. When I didn't have anywhere to go, I followed my friend who was a businessman, retired by force young officer. I followed this guy, we go there and do business. They didn't like me as the business committee in which I was because I talked too much truth as a soldier man. When we go for a meeting, before they realize I've spilled all the business, they say, you do business like that. I said, that is what it is. They said, no. So either they will keep me outside the business, or I swear to keep quiet while they're doing the discussion. And it was disgusting beginning of the things that my partners were saying for us to do the business. But I learned it. I went through it. I went through that. And then other businesses I was into. First it was buy and sell. Then I was into timber. I was into construction. I was into quotation of wines or ceramic. I was into air conditioning services. I was into oil, downstream, and midstream. I was into everything. I did electrical construction. All the hope of generating some kind of income stream. But for 15 years, I was doing all kinds of things. One thing, and I was teaching at the stock exchange too. One thing for sure, that I was learning about the Ghanaian business environment and the business people. So for 15 years, I was now really learning how to deal with Ghanaian business people. And so one day, I was disappointed badly by my bank. So we wanted to be, I applied for a loan of 20 million, and then after waiting about 2.5 months or 3 months, they called me and they said, oh, we've got a facility approved for you. I got there, instead of $20,000, they had approved $3,000. And I was so mad, I closed my account that day, insulted everybody at the bank, and 10 tables upside down. I was mad at it. And then I decided that what is there about learning? I will learn. I will change this narrative about learning. The mystery about learning, I will change it. Therefore, I set up the business. I had all the products that I had to start as every company. Now, if you are running a company, this is about generating other income streams. I see people who will say that you have the financial institution, then you have the mining institution, you have the real estate, and you're doing water, and you're doing that. I don't see the rationale in that most of the time. But if you are trying to get extra revenue streams, it should have a core. It's a core business, and then you can generate other business. Let me talk about a better experience. Let me say, assuming you are selling house cocoa, that is your business. As you said, you see people come, they ask for coaching. So then you look into coaching, which will support the other cocoa selling. And someone says, one brand, how to go with it. So then you must respond to that. But then the business grows organically. It's one way of growing sustainable business. And your attention should be, how do I sell more cocoa? More cocoa. Not more granola or more cocoa, but more cocoa. So at UT, we were having our challenges. We want to build structures around the lending, because it was difficult lending to people. Some of the things that we did was, for example, a lot of our clients came from Tema, they said they wanted money to pay their cars, to pay their goods. And I said, okay, we tried. We cleared the goods for them, then they ran away with their money. So, okay, I won't do that again. So then we said, okay, fine, next time we want money, we will use our agent to clear the goods and hold the goods. And how do we clear agents? I employed clearinghouse agents, and it became part of unit trust. So what you come to do for the money, the clearinghouse agent will go and clear the goods and put it in the warehouse. And when you bring the money, you take part of it for the business. So immediately, what happened was that we had clearing agents as part of the unit trust. We had warehouse specialists as warehouse managers who were doing collateral management. And before we realized, we had a logistics team in mutual financial services. So when people said, how did you go to logistics, how did you go to properties and things like that, it wasn't like I said, oh, after I did that, we want a logistics company. No. The logistics company came to help us grow the financial services. And therefore, when we wanted to become a bank, we had to actually take out all these companies and put them on their own. And still serve the core purpose of giving us the logistical services. And the same with the properties. When we were lending against collateral, we had to maintain those collaterals on the properties We had to do searches, we had to do valuation. And the issue is we wanted to learn as fast as possible. Now, if you want to go and value somebody's property from a valuer, it takes maybe 2-3 weeks with property document bound with pictures and all those. Now, I have the question, why do we have to go through that? But we are not about acquiring their properties. We only want to know that the property is valued properly. Therefore, we are a valuer, professional valuer. And that guy will go to the place and say, Chief, I'll say yes. That property is worth 100,000 plus or minus 10%. It's a professional valuer. That's all I needed to do the loan, not the proper valuation. And people will go to do the search. And they go into the search, they said it takes about 2 weeks to do the search. Search means what? It means go and search and see if the owner is the owner. And therefore, we engage somebody at once. As soon as we get there, he goes inside and says, oh, you can go with it, it's his property. Or don't touch it, it's not his property. I'll give you a secret of how we didn't know in 48 hours. You know? But then, because we're dedicated to the main cause of doing the loan, we realized that we had properties, specialists also within UT. That form UT properties. So, creating other income streams, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you have a business and you start, create it along the main business that you want to set up. Don't go too far afield, because then when it hits you badly, everything goes down. So, to my point, we have UT properties, UT logistics, UT private security, because we wanted them to provide special services for our clients in our places. We have UT Life also giving life insurance policies and so on and so forth. And we tried our business in Nigeria and South Africa at the same model going on. So UT was focused on its main core business of giving loans and giving facilities. And all the other business that people had, and they said I was a witch. Anything, after this man, he goes into everything is successful. No. I was doing unique trust financial services, and then we have the other things. And of course, we can have experts to run those things. A lot of people try to imitate it, but then what they did was, oh, somebody wanted to gold mining. It is not bad, but then you have this right expertise to be able to control that one. Then we have other business. The only problem that I made, or UT made, was that when we went to logistics, we have called it acquisition logistics, and properties were C properties. And so that we hide the identity, because Ghanaians don't like people who are successful. And then all of a sudden they saw, hey, this man, and then UT this, UT, oh, UT that, and eyes came on me and it's like, we'll kill this man, we'll kill his business. So my warning to you is, as we generate extra income streams, for the sake of who we are, try and hide it. Don't put the same name of all of them. Now, after we form all these companies, the problem, and I want to use this to explain how we got into banking, which was a different setup. People think, oh, then UT became a bank and that's how they failed. No. We did not start by saying we wanted to become a bank. We had UT Financial Services, which was the main cow, and then we had UT Properties, UT Logistics, UT Nigeria, UT South Africa, UT whatever. Then somebody said at the strategy session that, why don't we own a bank? And I said before that we shouldn't own a bank because UT was started because I hated how the banks were treating the world came to loans. But then when we thought about it, it's like, yeah, why not? Because some people come for money from us and go and put the money in the bank only to get an LC. Because the bank says put 50% cash deposit. And the bank will just keep the money for as long as it takes for the bill of lading and age to come. So then, if we have a bank, we can save people. Now, no, every business or every started there, and the bank was closed down. Then there was a rush on all the other companies because all the other companies' accounts were frozen and so on and so forth. Then I was taking over and had to go to Yoko for investigation to see if I was a criminal. I'm not making an excuse for myself. I'm only telling you the truth story. And then I was put to court. There was a so-called there with my lawyer, and I went to court. And then the lawyer listened, the judge listened to our case, and then he set bail at 16 million cedis. I remember asking my lawyer, Judge, what I want. Because 1 million could buy a house at the time, but even now they can buy a good house. So it means that you find 60 houses. And my lawyer said, okay, fine, but don't worry, I'll go and negotiate with the registrar, so and so forth. And he went and negotiated, and he came all excited. He said, okay, listen, we only need 2 properties, and then we'll set bail, and then we'll go home. And I looked at him and said, I don't have 2 properties. I said, what? You? I don't have any properties. And to finish that story, even though that's not my main thing, it was a client of mine who heard our report and came with properties to say that this man should not be kept here. What the properties they could use to bail me. My message to you is that when you make money, at least buy some property. You don't want to go to court. You have for one property and you don't have, and you may have to spend that night in the police station. So, in other words, what I'm saying is that getting other income streams, not necessarily for the income, sometimes not that good, but at least it's to ensure that you have a safety net. You put a bit of money in treasury, now the rates are bad, but you know that it can easily be liquidated. That's why it's not that the 15% that they pay is good. And then you put a bit in real estate because you can go to court and don't want anything, they want a land before they can set bail. Please, I'm a good man, but I went to court and I had that problem. Mind yourself. And then you also have to look at other places, like in Ghana, especially with the pressure of this, don't invest in French businesses unless there's a strong contract behind it. It's not like, oh, but will you bring, no, please. Because we are not very good people generally, let's face it. And therefore, you have to watch the income stream. So, my advice to you is, please, as you make money, certainly divest. Don't divest too far away from the core of the business. And if you are, say, in a corporate world and you're having a salary, the way to go is probably try the hobby that you have as a business. In that case, you're having a bit of fun, but you get a bit of money coming in. And when you think the hobby is taking shape and you're getting more insight, you're getting more attracted to it, look at it seriously with a business plan, and it may mean that you may have to jump ship. Because it's better to be employed and to be your own employer than getting people employed you and give you what they like and tell you what you should do. So I think with this, I will cut my delivery short, because I'm saying that anybody can go chat beauty, chat AI, and see what you're supposed to do. And I'm not here to repeat all that. I just have to share my experience with you. And it's all there in my book, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and you see how you did it, how we divested to other places, and how we did it in some occasions, and we have to deal with what we have. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'll continue with the Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Mr. Amoabeng deserves another round of applause. We are trying to make some seats available, so please bear with us. Very soon we'll get you some seats so you can sit comfortably. You don't know why? Have you found out why?
There isn't why, but I don't want to talk about it because basically I don't dwell in the past. I don't hate people. I don't bear grudges, and I just brush things away. But the Bible says you should not judge. Leave God to judge. So I don't want to stand here and say they did this and they did that. I don't care. So excuse me, I don't want to go there. I want to forget it and I've forgotten it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But the way salaries don't meet the living standard, it's always good to be looking at what you could do in addition to the job initially. Now, let's say you are good at arranging flowers or growing flowers or even growing snails or doing whatever it is. Try it on a small scale, very small scale. And then when you think, yes, I can see the revenue streams, I can see what the cost will look like, do a small business plan. Business plan doesn't mean you have, what do we call it, before you realize it, because someone didn't look after their child, or left the woman and the woman couldn't grab the child, so on and so forth. So it's a lot of things. Are you doing it in Ghana? Yeah. And yeah, I want to write you wrote the books. See me in chambers. I will share my experience with you. Okay, I'll give you my number so you see me. But she wants to write a book. She's finalized the book, but she wants to put the book out there. And because I've written 3 books, I think I'm in a position to help. And then you were also talking about real estate and trying to get real estate from outside. This one, do I have to say anything? Even if you give the money to your mother, I swear, you won't find a problem. It's an old story. I tell you, we are bad people. But of course, there are a lot of real estate companies now that are credible. So you have to do a lot of research. Again, I can help you with some of them. With a small down payment, they can give you one and you keep paying, and eventually the title will be transferred to you. So now it's changed. But don't give the money to your brother, your uncle, or your mother, or something, and say they should pay for it. I beg you. The first problem is the structure of the company. Sometimes 4 friends from university, and they are developing something and so forth. Oh, that's for a company. Okay, 25%, there are 4 of us. Structure for disaster. Some people are very good friends when there's no money, but when there's money, you can't deal with them. The reverse is also true. Some people, when there's hardship, they are good. And when there's hardship, they are not good, but when there's money, they tend to be good. And the problem was good, and I've done that, I've caused that problem so many times. Sit with your friend, your uncle, whoever you want to partner, and think of what they are bringing to the table before you start giving out shares. That is the fundamental, the profile of what you're going to do. Now, one thing I advocate is that the visionary, the one who comes with the idea, should try at all times to keep more than 50% of the shares. Because if he or she leaves the company is dead. He or she is carrying the vision. Now, the way to do that is, if, let's say, you decide that you need 100,000 to start a business, you tend to think you need capital of 100,000. If you're not careful, one person has 90,000 or 100,000, and he or she brings the money, therefore they own the company. Now, you should bring the capital as low as possible. So let's say you need 100,000. You said, okay, fine, I'm the visionary, I got the whole idea. The capital should be 10,000. Everybody should bring whatever percentage. And it's easier to come up with a portion of the 10,000 than coming up with a portion of the 100,000. We don't have to. If you don't bring the capital out, somebody with the money will hijack the company. So the visionary should make sure they bring the capital down. And the partner who can bring extra money should bring as a loan, and you pay interest on it. It's as simple as that. My own experience, there was a guy, Charles somebody, and he came to me and he said, early stages unit trust, I needed 200 million cities, old cities. And he said, oh, I can give you 200 million, but I'll take 60%. And I said, then you want to employ me. He said, oh, no, you have 40%. I said, no. Then I went to bed and thought about it. And I said, Charles, let's talk here. I will give you the 60%, but on one caveat. At any point in time that the company has worked and I have the money, I can buy 20% from you. And he said, no. I said, you're a bad man. So there are ways and means of fixing it. You can even give them bigger percentage, but put in the caveat that you can buy them back. It depends on the people you are dealing with. So the first problem I have about new businesses is not funding, it's about the structure of the business. I'm giving away at least 5 businesses. I have to take a walk. But we get to a place where the misunderstanding is so severe that it should end up in court. I won't go to court. Now look at you as I'm young, I have more ideas. Sign here, I'm out, take it. And I've done it several times. It's not a good thing to do because